Everybody, Sean Falconer here, editor of Modern Athlete magazine, and welcome to another, what should we call it, an episode of our MA Live series brought to you by Traumeel. And this is what we call the Learn to How to Run Well series. In each of these episodes, we talk to different people in the running industry, be they athletes, coaches, doctors, physiotherapists, nutritionists, you name it. We talk to them about how one can learn or one can adapt your running to become a better runner. It's beginner-friendly advice that applies to anybody, so please feel free to join in and enjoy the show. Of course, just a word about our sponsor first is at Traumeel. As you'll see behind me, it's your reliable running partner. It's self-medication you can get at all pharmacies and leading retailers, which is exactly what it's there to do, which is help you to run better. It breaks down inflammation and in the muscles and helps you recover faster. You get it in different formats, so go and check it out. Now, today, we're joined by Jerry Crayland, the chairperson of the Pirates Road Running Club, which is based there in Greenside in Johannesburg. Jerry, first of all, welcome and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for inviting us. It's nice to be here.
Now, I was just chatting to Jerry offline and he was saying, what are we trying to achieve today? And I said, it's very simple. We want to talk about running clubs and how a runner can join a running club and how that will benefit your running. So, Jerry, let's jump straight in. First of all, tell us about your club. You know, how long has it been around? Where's it based? What does it do? What makes Pirates famous?
Well, I think Pirates is famous and infamous, but I think we based in Greenside, Johannesburg. The original Pirates Club was actually in Kimberley, so we sort of took it over from them in 1888. But the road running section has been going since the late 70s. So yeah, we've been around the block, and lots of heritage and a lot of some of these old founders are still in the club. In fact, our road running president is actually one of the founders of road running, so he's still around. So people at Pirates are stayers. So.
Now, if I've actually had the privilege of doing one of your events in December, the Wobblers and Wigglers hat race, which is an annual. It's more of a fun run than a race, but everybody wears hats and it's almost like a Christmas get together. I must say, it's the club has got a great gees, a great spirit, and but I also have the Pirates Half Marathon, which I believe is it's one of the toughest races on the calendar.
Yes, look, we pride ourselves on our events and on our gees and on our social. I think a lot of what makes Pirates sort of known is the fact that we combine the sport element with the social. We take our sport seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. So we have a lot of fun in the process. Yeah, our 21K I think that's become quite infamous for being the toughest in Joburg. I don't think you can say you've done a proper 21 until you've run over the mountain. But yeah, it's one of those things. If you're not a true pirate until you've also gone over the mountain in both directions. So yeah.
Well, in that case, I don't think I'm a true pirate because I've only done that mountain in one direction. I did your half marathon a number of years ago, so I'll have to come back to Joburg sometime and run it in the other way around.
No, absolutely. We call it our reverse run, and we do it to sort of raise funds for our squad, which is funded by our development fund.
So just between us quickly, which is the easier direction to run it from, the way the half marathon goes or the reverse?
Oh, that's anyone's guess. We haven't actually. There's so many different opinions. I have my own opinion, but I think they're pretty tough both ways. So.
Fair enough. Now, let's talk about the benefits of being a club member. And as I said, the reason we brought in Pirates as one of the more sociable clubs and known for their gees. Let's talk about when people join a club, what do they get? I mean, I get the question often is, why should I join a club? Why don't I just buy a temporary license every weekend at a race or once every now and again? So, besides just getting a license number and saving a bit of money, what are the other benefits of a club?
Look, I think club life is something so unique to South Africa specifically as well, because we are quite running mad. And I think that first of all, that obviously it gets you on the road. It gives you some sort of discipline because you start to get to know people, and after a while they kind of expect you to arrive, and but it also gives you that confidence that you can actually go the distance. I mean, I can't tell you how many people join on a time trial on a Tuesday, and they just want to do a 5K and will never go any further, and then before you know it, they've done their first half, and 6 months later they're signing up for a marathon. So and it may not be everybody's cup of tea to or to have a marathon or an ultra in their sights, but it just really gives you that discipline, apart from the other benefits that come with club life. I'm talking specifically about running for now. So it makes it's on those cold mornings where you don't really want to get up, or afternoons you can just flop in front of the TV. Your mates are expecting you, and I think it really gives you that discipline and adds something to sort of your running calendar.
So in terms of looking further than just the camaraderie and the training partners, I mean, clubs also have social activities. You've got a bar. I would imagine, I think if my memory serves, the Pirates Club does have a licensed bar, which means you can have a cold one after a race, doesn't it? Or after
Absolutely,
a
yeah.
run, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, on it's definitely it's part of tradition to, after time trial, hang around with the crowd, and um, have a drink or just have a chat, and it's the same goes for Thursday nights after club runs. It really becomes very, very social, and I think the longer you stay in the club, these people become your family. It's very, very it becomes a big part of your life. So
In terms of other benefits, I mean, I have my own experience of being in a club down here in the Cape. You've got lifts to races with club mates, and you've got somebody to talk to during races. You've got somebody to hang out with after races. I know that the Pirates Club, well, I mean, the standing joke is, how do you know you're a pirate? You just are. So, your club brings with it this wonderful gees and distinctive colors. Do you always find that the runners hang out at the club gazebo after the races as well and have a good old time?
oh yeah, look, I think there's only one thing better than that feeling in when you start and finish a race, and that is if you start and finish it with other people. I've been there where you stand at the front, where you stand there in the starting line and you look around and there's no one to talk to. But I think if it's a shared experience, and with people that have got the same goals as you, wear the same colors as you, or it's just it's an amazing experience to be able to start together, and when you finish together, there's obviously a lot of banter, and um, there's also the big debate in Pirates about whether you finish with a Sterry Stumpy or a beer. So that there's that ongoing chatter, and that's definitely one of the benefits. Uh, just also linked to the social. It's great to in sort of true South African style finish a run and join your mates under the gazebo.
Jump back to the club runs that you were mentioning there on Thursday nights. I want to imagine there's also other pack runs on other days of the week, or especially for building up to the big ultras and things like that. That's one of the big benefits of being part of a club, isn't it? Having training partners.
Yeah. So for example, there's something for everybody. We usually suggest that people start, if they want to join, just to get out on the road, to join with time trial, because you don't need to be a specific pace. You just run at your own pace. There's no pressure. There are people who will show you the way, but you can really run at your own pace. You don't need to be fast. You can go as slow as you want. Um, and then from there, for our club runs, we split people into sections, what we call the 5, 6s, and 7s, and that's obviously your pace in terms of minutes per K. So if you are running if it takes you 7 minutes to finish a kilometer, we'll put you in the 7s group, or 7 and up. And there's always somebody to make sure that you get home. So, otherwise, if it's a smaller group during the week, then what we will do is we'll make sure that the faster guys wait at every top of the hill, or we'll go and fetch. We just make sure that everybody runs together, because I think that's a big concern for people. There's also safety in numbers. There have been a couple of incidents around Joburg and in the running community, so we're all very aware of making sure that people don't run alone, It's great. Apart from the chatter and everything, it just also makes sure that there's safety in numbers.
Mhm. Your time trial, sorry to jump back again, that obviously happens from the clubhouse on a certain weeknight, and what the benefit there is that you get to measure your fitness and see how your training is progressing. But instead of just doing it by yourself and timing yourself, you get to do it with club mates, with a bit of social, and on a set route, which is measured, and safety in numbers. So once again, it's quite a benefit, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. We actually we starting to use a proper timing system. In the past it was always just every man for himself, and then we just give the top five on a leaderboard. But we've I think quite a few number of clubs are starting to use the same timing system, so you can watch your progress every week. And again, you're just running against yourself. You're not really running against anybody else. And it's very, very helpful to see how over the same route you are improving. Whether it's over 5Ks or 8Ks, we've got both distances. And Pirate Time Trial is a fairly fast time trial. It's got a hill or two. Can't be a pirate thing without a hill. But it's a fairly fast run, and it's nice to measure your pace. It's a good one to actually help you improve and get stronger without just being a flat down. So
Sure. Now let's just quickly jump over to the costing of club versus not club. What beginner runners might not understand is if they want to run races, they need to be licensed. Now, if you don't join a club, then you have to buy a temporary license number each time you run a race. Not fun runs, of course, 5Ks and things like that. But once you start getting to 10Ks and up, it becomes official races. You need a license number. Now, the cost of a license number starts adding up each time you buy one at each race you do. Whereas if you join a club, you pay a once-off license fee at the beginning of the year. So it comes down to how many races do you intend running a year versus how many temporary license numbers you may buy. So out of interest, Jerry, I'm not going to ask you what your club fees are at the moment, but I mean, if you were to hazard a guess, I mean, what would you say is if somebody's doing 5 or 6 races or 10 races a year, then do club fees start becoming cheaper than temporary licenses?
um, yeah, look, you have to do a fair number of races for your club fee or for certain club fees to cover it. You've got your community clubs, which would be like ourselves, Wanderers, Old Eds, Harriers, those sort of ones. And then you obviously get your corporate clubs like Vitality and those sort of ones. So and it varies, if but I think when you look at the cost exercise of clubs and what you get for your membership fee, it's not just as simple as what you get back from a license perspective. Yes, it's a great benefit, but there are many other things that come with club membership fees. For example, you get a free shirt when you join. Um, you get discount at partners of ours for shoes, all sorts of things like that. We've got a whole list of benefits, what you get, as well as obviously, a sense of belonging and years and years of heritage that comes with the club, and all the socials and the events that we have. I mean, for instance, this weekend, 90 of us going to Montesources to all run it together. It's just an amazing feeling to be able to have this experience or shared experiences with like-minded people. So I think to drill it down to just the pure cost saving is, you'll have to go far to just do it on licenses. I think there are many other benefits that come with running with a club.
I think that's a brilliant answer. And I'm glad you put it that way. Over the years, a lot of people have asked me this question, and I've said, look, there's different ways of looking at it. There is just the straight cost, obviously, which you're going to save money in the long run if you join a club, if you are doing 10 or so races a year. But I've always told people that it's much more than just a license number. It's the camaraderie, the friendship, the training partners, you name it. So very well put. Thank you for throwing that into the mix as well. Now, in terms of that social aspect, I mean, when you're running in a race, you must have experience where you're running along and you maybe hit a bad patch, and then in the distance ahead of you, you spot somebody in the club colors of your own club, and you go like, oh, there's John, or there's Sarah, or whoever it is, and you go like, I'm just going to catch that person and pull up next to them because that's going to give me that little extra impetus to keep going. Is that what it's all about for you as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, we always joke about it because uh, as you know, our pirates kit is quite recognizable, and everybody, or at least once or twice per race, somebody will run up behind you and say, "Oh, these hills must be nothing for you," you know. So it's other people get you through it because you know, when they shout, "Hey, pirates," you know. But it is also, you know, I mean, the club has grown so much. There are, and we feel quite lucky in a period where it is, as you mentioned, it could be costly to join a club, you know. But I think that um, we've been quite lucky recently over the last few years that people have seen the benefits of the social aspect and the additional elements you get um, with joining a club like Pirates. So we've grown to such an extent that there are some people on the road that you sometimes don't know, you know, but it doesn't matter if they wear a Pirates vest, you know, you instant friends for the rest of the for the race, and they get you through it, you know, and the way supporters that you don't know from a bar of soap on big races like Comrades or whatever it is, you know, they cheer for Pirates. It's we always tell the new runners that just watch out. You are going to be carried by supported because you wear a Pirates vest, and it's true, you know. And I think it happens with other clubs as well, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
it just feels like Pirates, you know, they get you there.
No, absolutely. I think that is the take home message that people should take from this particular video, is that joining a club gives you a second home, a second family, uh, and just a sense of belonging when you're on the road. And I think it adds this wonderful element to your running career. And that's what I found over the years. And I've got an even more distinctive club color design than the Pirates one, because we've got red and white vertical stripes. Let's just say that my club, Helderberg Harriers, sticks out like a sore thumb amongst all the masses. So I have these targets to run after when I see a club mate, and it just adds something more to the race. But I think it's true. It doesn't matter which club you belong to, there will always be people that will chat to you. People will have something in common with you, and you can just meet so many more people on the road.
Yes, I mean, I mentioned this weekend we're going to Monty, so it is in honor of two members, or you know, members in this family have been members of the club for years. Their daughters are families, so they passed away a couple of years ago, and the whole club, even people who's never met them before, you know, are going in their honor to go and run over a mountain, a huge mountain that most people, you know, we're road runners, you know, so a lot of them haven't done trail running before, but they're just going to sort of be together to celebrate these people, to celebrate what they've meant for the club. And it's very, very special to have that kind of, like you say, camaraderie and family, um, you know, without making it sound like a cult type atmosphere. You know, it's we always very aware of where the line is drawn. So, but it's very, very special when people that just come from all aspects of life. You know, nobody asks you what your job is. Nobody asks you what you do for a living. When they walk into the club, everybody is just you know, a runner.
I think that's one of the essentials, just that sense of belonging. My last question I have for you, and sorry, this is going to be a bit tongue in cheek, but do you actually get people walking up to you or running past you in races going, "How do you know you're a pirate?"
Yes. And we get that when you cross the line at anything from two oceans to wherever you are, you know, the commentators will always find a way to work that into the conversation. So because you are.
On that note, I'd like to apologize. As one of the commentators at Two Oceans, I would like to apologize to you for making the same joke over and over. But come on, it's too good not to.
I'm pretty sure that was you. I'm pretty sure that was you.
It probably was. Jerry, thank you so much for joining us. I've been a club member for over 20 years, and I'm a firm believer that running clubs are literally the heartbeat of the South African running industry. So I've always been a big fan, but it's nice to hear somebody else from a different from another club and from a different city sort of saying the same thing and really promoting clubs. So thank you for everything that you do for the running industry by being a club chairperson and organizing races and time trials and things like that. I know that you are one of the organizers of the Pirates time trial, which means that's for weekly duty as well.
Yes, I think I better be there in about 5 minutes. So, but no, it's a huge pleasure, and thank you, Sean, for everything you do for the community.
No, thank you. So, folks, there you have it. The benefits of joining a club. This was, of course, another edition of MA Live. It's Modern Athlete Live, brought to you by Traumeel, the Learn How to Run Well series. I hope that you've taken something useful from this. And if you are wherever you live, you will find a running club somewhere in your area. Google it, look it up through the provincial offices if you're not sure where to look. Hell, you can even contact us at Modern Athletes and we'll try and put you in the right direction. But I can highly recommend clubs. Jerry, thank you very much for joining us. And folks, we look forward to seeing you at our next MA Live coming up soon.